All right, today, hopefully, X marks the spot. I've got an old Xbox here that I found that we're going to break down. The other thing that I'm doing today is I've got two hands going here. So I am trying a GoPro that I borrowed from a buddy. It's actually strapped to my forehead right now. I feel a little bit silly, but you know, I want to experiment with these cameras. I want to continue always making my channel better, always making my videos better. And so I'm going to play with that today. It's a little bit odd. I can't actually see what I'm shooting, so I'm hoping that I'm getting things kind of lined up the right way. So we're going to play with that. You'll notice it gives kind of a fisheye lens kind of look. So not sure how I feel about that. When we get into any of the detail, I might jump back and forth between cameras just to make sure the video is of the best quality, and so the information is not getting lost with this weird lens. So just to get started here, we're going to try this out. So Xbox, found this dude in the trash. No cords, no wires. No controllers. I doubt there's a game unless it happens to be stuck in there. It is definitely not working. I've had people tell me that there is a resale value on these, even as non-working. I've personally seen them being sold online. So I did at first just to see if I could get, I've heard anywhere from basically 15 bucks up to 30 bucks, 35 bucks for these. I think people maybe use them for parts. So I didn't want to mess with eBay, but I did, not for this, but I did throw it on Craigslist and a couple of resale Facebook pages in my community. I didn't get any bites on it. I think I asked like 20 bucks or something, just seeing if I could flip it real quick. Could I continue to try to sell it and probably sell it? I think so. Maybe not 20, you know, I just kind of made that up. Maybe 15 bucks, 10 bucks, and I suspect that would be higher value than scrapping this down. But I've never broke one down before. I'm very curious to see what's inside of it, and I want to make sure that you know, I'm producing good content on YouTube. I didn't see a whole lot of Xbox videos, at least for the original Xboxes, on YouTube. So I thought, you know what, let's just break it down and see what's inside. So that's what we're doing. First off, this is the original Xbox. We got four ports there for controllers. The back has a jack, so you can have some gold pins there. Some other sort of port that I'm hoping you can see, and then for the power supply. So I didn't see any screws on this thing. We flip it over, and if you're new to scrapping and you can't figure out how to get into it, always look underneath the little foot, the little feet. Hopefully I'm right on this guy, but so you can peel those off, and you'll see the screws. Looks like we're gonna have to get the tamper-proof bits out. So I'm gonna grab those. I think I'm gonna possibly switch cameras for this next shot, and we'll see if we can get inside this thing and give everybody an idea of kind of what's inside. All right, switch cameras here. We're gonna take these feet off, and we're gonna start breaking into this thing. All right, got those four out. The screws were pretty long. There were four of those, and again, for anyone that's kind of new to scrapping or new to breaking down electronics, you always got to check underneath these labels as well. Sometimes there'll be screw marks. There's one right there, and we got another one right here. So always look underneath the labels. You can actually see a little indention. I don't know if that's showing up there, but so you can see the screw there, and then up top here, peel that thing back. And there's another one we're going to take care of real quick. All right, so we got those off. Now we got to get the plastic casing off. I did not see any other screws. The best way that I know to do it is basically just take a screwdriver. I mean, if I was outside, I'd just smash it with a hammer and kind of crack it. But we're going to go double hands on this. There it starts to come. There we go. All right, here we go. It's the big unveil. And again, I've got the GoPro on, so I have a little bit of metal there on the top. We need to peel off, and here's our first look inside. Hope you're seeing this. So we got some ribbon wire. We've got some more screws. There's a screw. There's a screw for that drive. There's one. We'll get this stuff out. So I'm gonna break this stuff up, and we'll lay it all out. A couple of screws here. I'm not still have this camera on my head, so I'm not actually sure if you're seeing what I'm doing. If you kind of are, I'll probably leave this clip in, and if you kind of aren't, then you probably won't even hear what I'm saying right now. You know, that was the bottom. I bet this whole thing probably just pops out, actually. Let's see if we can pop this thing out. There we go. It's stuck in one corner down here. Now we're getting somewhere. All right, let's take this ribbon wire off real quick because that's connected to something. All right, so this is gonna be our drive, game drive. So we'll probably, you've probably seen plenty of drives before. Probably won't share what's inside of that with you, but maybe we'll make that a separate video, or who knows, maybe I'll do it anyway. Well, all right, just kind of breaking this as I go. There we go. So we'll have a couple screws, but we got our drive board. That's normally a good grade board. We got IC chips. As you can see, a lot of really little monolithic ceramic capacitors, just a bunch of them on there, a bunch of little ones. Oh, I just knocked my camera over, didn't I? So there's our drive. There's normally some gold in here. Some people mess with this stuff on the eye, some people don't. Aluminum, things like that. We got another little green board going over on this side. There'll be a few copper motors. There's gonna be one under there. There's gonna be one right there. There'll be one down in here somewhere. So we'll pop that open in a little while. The ribbon wire is still connected over here. Just something. There's some ribbon wire. And can we get this thing off? Yes. All right, so we're gonna pop this drive out. This is gonna be our hard drive. There'll be hopefully a board in there. There'll be gold. There'll be the platters. Those are normally have palladium on them. A lot of people, and aluminum, a lot of people will take those and sell those as is. I don't think you can see in there. There we go. So you might be able to see that shimmer. Those are gold pins. So we'll have some screws and stuff we gotta get out of that. And then here's what's down inside. So just first glance, we've got what looks like a pretty decent board down in here. Right away, I see this flag right here. That means gold. We got a couple aluminum heat sinks. We got some copper. Little fan's gonna have copper. Here's a fan that's gonna have copper. Metal, just shred, some wires. I think what I'm gonna do is I'll probably pull this out, and I may lay the pieces out. That way we can see what all we got. I got this thing broke apart. We got a bunch of trash. Now this was the base and the top. Both have this or magnetic shred inside. So rather than peel those out, might as well keep the plastic on. I get a little bit extra weight at the scrapyard that way. Some other shred. The thing that was kind of a pain in the butt about this, and this is only a portion, but there were a ton of screws and a ton of different size ones. Some of them are really hard to get to. I actually struggled with them a little bit. I'm not saying it's not worth it. It definitely, I think, was worth it. But there were a lot of screws and some tamper-proof screws, some of the stars, some Phillips. So there was a bunch of screws to kind of go through. So this is kind of your traditional little power supply or power system that they're normally in these. So you got, I'm just going to do a real quick rundown on these. You've got your cords. There we go. So these things are always aluminum. We can double check. Yep. So we got aluminum. We've got there we go. Copper here. Copper. Copper back there. Copper. That's nice. We got a big, or not a big, but there's our little copper motor inside there. And then we've also got, there's even more. There's little copper spirals everywhere. These guys here too are also copper bearing. So we've got those. We've got some ribbon wire that connects. Another random screw, more wire. This was on the power button. There could be silver contacts on these little buttons. In fact, there might be, but just a little worthless board. We got a little fan that's copper bearing. So this is from the disc reader. I'm not going to break this apart right now. You got a copper bearing motor, you got shred, you got a little wire, you got really small pieces of gold flake. Sometimes if I can pull those off good, I'll throw them in. Sometimes these guys are stainless. This is not the case where they are. This is the reader, and there's actually gold inside those. Very, very little. Most people just put it with their shred. So that's what that is. We have another little board. And we've got gold pins right there on the end and on that end. So that's cool. This is the hard drive. I'm not going to bust this open. I think I might actually do a hard drive video. I know there's a lot of them out there, but everybody's different. Some people break them down. Some people throw them in just like this. I actually break mine apart. So I might do a video just real quick on the hard drive. The hard drive drives are always good, or the boards, and then they always have gold. There'll be platters inside those. A couple other few small little things, components that were part of it. This son of a gun kind of broke on me, but there actually was a little bit of gold on this board. This one not so much. I might trip those off and put that with my my other board, but it's all low grade minus that. One more little motor, and then this was the board that was on the drive. We got gold pins right there, a lot of gold pins, which is nice. Little ribbon wire, little monolithic ceramic capacitors. That's what all these little guys are right through here. Some people scrape those off. I kind of do the big ones. These guys are so small. Let's see if I can get a focus. There we go. Those are going to be tougher to get off. I've seen a variety of ways of doing it. Moose Scrapper's got a nice way. Original Feet's got a way where they kind of scrape those off. They'll kind of put a blade down, and then they'll hammer the end of the blade, and it kind of pops those off. The last thing, the big thing I wanted to show you was the ground board, or the base board that everything was setting on. Can we get focused? There we go. So there's actually a lot of things on this I wanted to kind of point out. So this is the top, and the big thing right here. There we go. Look at those gold pins. They're thick, and now obviously they're going to be plated, but those are nice. I'm going to definitely be pulling those. We've got a little bit of actually silver pins right there in front of them. So you see a few random copper strands right there. Man, I can't seem to get a focus. There we go. So IC chips, IC chips, IC chips, IC chips. This guy's got gold. That's always a good kind of identifier when you see that little gold flag under there. So I'll pull off some of these components, but this board's a high-grade board. I'll be putting it in as is. Definitely going to be pulling those gold pins off. I'll probably pull these off. We're going to get to this in a second. Flipping it over even. The bottom side's really nice. A lot more IC chips. Little flat packs. I've heard people call them roaches before. Here's those monolithic ceramic capacitors. These are a little bigger. Those I probably will pull off. These guys, a couple of them on there. So that's good. And then let's get to these heat sinks. All right, found yet even more little screws that you do to get those heat sinks off. There was a little fan on top of that one, which is an extremely small amount of copper bearing. So heat sinks are higher grade aluminum. I separate my heat sinks. I've been told that they will go for more of a premium price. I have received a higher price on my heat sinks being separate aluminum at my yard. So when you take those off underneath those, they're there to do a job, and that's another nice one right there. But they're there to do a job, and you can always find good stuff under them. So here we got more gold. This one's gonna have a little bit of gold in it, and then almost kind of missed these last couple pieces. We've got a jack that has gold pins, and then there's gold inside that port too. So that's the Xbox. Was it worth it? Even though I got a little frustrated with a bunch of little screws, totally was. I'm glad I broke it down. If I see another one, I will try to sell it, as I mentioned, and then if I'm not able to sell it, I will continue breaking them down. So that's the Xbox. First time for me. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you get one of these, I'm curious to get your thoughts on the process and what you think the value is of time versus reward there. But those things sure are pretty. So appreciate all feedback, comments, likes, subscribes, all that cool stuff. Thanks so much for watching. Happy scrapping.